Hi guys, I'm Jim and this is Jim's Fix-It Shop. Today I'm going to show you how to tear apart your mower deck on your snappers. I've had some viewers email me and said they're having trouble getting certain things off. I'm going to show you how to do it and what not to do. My 33-inch machine over there that I just rebuilt, the whole drivetrain runs good. I'm having a few issues with the mower deck. When I get in a heavy load, or maybe I scalp the ground because I got the deck all the way down, the blade is deflecting in there. It's wiggling, and it hits the deck and starts throwing sparks all over. So I'm going to show you the problem that has, because I already have that tore apart. I've got another one down on the floor we're going to tear apart as you watch. And I'll show you the problems I got with that one. This one, let me turn this camera down. Yeah, I like this better. You can't see me. This one, when I was using it, this is the blade off it. As you can tell, the nice red paint, I had my air lifts on here, so it sucked leaves. My yard's a little abrasive from the sand and dirt and the sticks I pick up, walnuts, pine cones, acorns. It sucks everything up. It wore two of the bolts and nuts right off from the all the abrasive. It's all like sandblasting this thing. And what happened is this airlift spun out and became way too long. And what it did is it punched holes all through the mower deck. Over here it ripped a 7-inch slit in the side of the mower deck. So we stripped this for parts. We threw all the parts in the box. Now when you go to tear these things down, the easiest way to tear them apart is on the front of the machine where your feet are, there's a bar. And on the end of the bar is two snap rings. Take one of them off and slide the bar out. This is where your pedals are that keeps your mower deck running. Slide that bar out, unhook these chains, and you got to take the belt off. Then stand the tractor back up, and you can take this and bring it wherever you want to work on it. This one I got stripped. It's basically it's just junk left. I got another 33-inch down here on the floor. I'm going to put up here and we're going to show you how to tear it apart. Let me pause this because that might be a handful to get it up here. Okay, now to get the belt off, you're going to have to take this idler pulley loose because it has a keeper on here, so when you release the pedals and your mower deck quits, the belt don't fall off the pulleys. Most all the pulleys will have this little keeper on them. So we took that off already. I got a box here I'm putting all my parts in. This one's long enough you can flex it a little to get the belt out. Now we're going to be using an air tool, so it's going to be noisy. If you got earbuds in, you might want to take them out. I got some assorted tools down here. I got some wrenches, impact sockets. I have an air grinder. You're going to need that. Well, you might not to change your spindle, but I'm going to get this off. They got a spring on here and it's right in the way of one of the bolt heads. The only way you can get this off is to cut that spring. Maybe I won't take that off, I'm not sure yet. But first, you want to work on the bottom of this thing, and that's a little bit tricky. Okay, get the blade off. We need a 3/4 inch socket. Wherever it is. And a 3/4 inch wrench. Now, I can turn this around maybe so you can see in here. You got your mounting bar in here to mount your blade. That's got to come off next. And I don't remember what size that is. I don't think it's 3/4. Nope. I believe it's 15/16. Now you can hold the mounting bar for your blade to get that center nut off. Now one problem a lot of people's been having is getting this bar off. It does not slide on. It screws on. You got the nut off, now you got to unscrew this. I use a rubber hammer. You got to turn this thing. The reason you don't want to take the top apart first, you got to hold this pulley that's down under here. And just beat on it till it breaks loose. That's it. Now underneath that, there's a large washer. I can get it off of here. Maybe we'll just leave it on. This deck I'm stripping for parts. The only part that I really want to keep is the deck itself. So when that one wears out, I'll have a spare one. And that's another part on this machine. Whoops, I dropped my brush. That needs to be greased. Wipe the grease off of this. Right here on the edge is a grease fitting that greases these bearings. How many times have you ever greased that? Honestly, I didn't even know it was on there. Now we want to take these 3 bolts out and you got to hold the top under here with a wrench while you take the nuts off. So I think I'm going to pause this because these are a little bit hard to get to. Okay, got one left. You got to get the socket up in here. These are really hard to get onto. When I flip this over, I'll show you where I am right now. I think that might be there. Was on. All right. stuff out of our way. Now we'll flip this over. So the bottom's all loose. Let me turn this. Down underneath here is where them heads are. You got to get a wrench on so you can spin them loose. Get this big nut off. If you've got an impact, that's the only way to do it easily. You can just hang on to it. It'll spin right off. Now, next thing you want to do, I don't know if I can get you any closer. Let me tip this down a little. You want to loosen up this brake. A couple of cotter keys and a pin. Get a pin out. You can get the brake off. Like that said, I'm stripping this for parts. Some of these I'm just going to throw in a box and hang on to. And that just doesn't want to go back in there, so you know what? We're just going to throw it in there. This is your brake drum. Oh, this has been greased. Apparently by the former owner, because I never greased this thing. Now, this is your brake arm, and underneath this mess here, you know what, I think I'm going to take this off too. I didn't do this on the other ones, but I'm going to take that entire brake right off of there, get it out of my way, and get some of this grease off. Maybe these bearings will be in good shape. Well, I got some of that mess cleaned up. Now, you need yourself a good pair of snap ring pliers. These are, well, if you know me, the only tools I buy, they're American made. Unless I cannot find what I need, then I'll have to resort to the other crap. These are a pair of American made snap ring pliers. They're from High Tech. They have a lock on them that locks them open, because these large snap rings sometimes have a lot of energy in them, and it's just hard to keep them open until you get them wiggled all the way off. So this is a very nice pair of pliers here. The problem is trying to get hooked onto it. With all this grease, it really likes to slide off. I guess. Okay, we're going to go to a station break. Okay, that was one ornery snap ring. It just did not want to come off of there. That off. Now you can pick up this brake arm and get that off. Now once you get that off, guess what? There's another snap ring in here. Let's see if this one's any better. Okay, we got that last one off. Things did not cooperate very good. Now we can pull the spindle out. Boy, them bearings, them are nice. Whoever had this machine apparently kept it greased. Them are in real nice shape. Now the problem with this one over here that I'm having all the rattling with, as I'll show you, let me clean this up first in the parts washer. Okay, this is the spindle out of the 33 inch over there that's giving me all the problems. This is the spindle out of here. This one's black. It's never been painted. I'm assuming somebody has replaced this in that mower deck at one time and left a part off. Now if you can see on this spindle, this area right here is undercut. Why they did that I do not know, and I can't really figure it out. And what they put in there is this little band that's got all this rippling on it. I guess it's supposed to act as a spring for some reason to help hold the spindle tight in the top of this substructure. If they would have just left it straight, they wouldn't have had a problem. But this is the top part of the structure off that 28 inch that I stripped out. The spindles fit the best in this with very little movement. So we're going to tear that deck down, swap this part out, and put this newer spindle in that deck. Okay, we're down to the last bolt. Well, I thought it was the last bolt. I guess I'll get the right size socket would help. That goes in the scrap. And I guess might as well pop that off. That's the only piece I want to save off of this. Basically, that's how you get it apart. Now, to put the spindle in the other one, now we're over here to this mower deck, and you can see how sloppy this was in this top structure. That's because that little band was missing for some reason. That's what it looks like. It's just a corrugated sheet metal band they put on there for some reason. But this spindle and this top structure fits very nice with no movement. So we're going to replace this out of this deck. Alright, now if you have this problem with this thing like I do, I'm going to show you how to get this structure out to replace it. You can buy these. I have no idea how much they are. I've never priced one. But we're going to swap this one out. I'm going to block this side up with a piece of wood. Actually, I think we're going to make a mouse trap here and see if we can get bit. We'll take the 3 screws out, or 2 screws out from this side. All the rest of them we're going to take off this side. Problem is you cannot get this out unless you take this off the mower deck. Isn't that nice? Boy, that was a tough one. I forgot there was a spring in there. I'm going to have as much trouble hooking that spring as I did unhooking it. Okay. Okay, we got that spring on, and I got these rods back in the holes on the other side. We'll put these bolts back in. Get the nuts started. I don't know why they have the first one with the bolt coming up from the bottom, and the rest of them, the bolts go down from the top. Go figure, I have no idea. I always like to get all this stuff started before I tighten anything up. Then you don't have any alignment problems. Oh, our mouse strap just shut. Try to get these started straight, because these are self-threading bolts. If you've watched my other videos, I've talked about these triangular bolts that cut their own threads. Guess I'll reset my mouse trap, and we'll tighten these bolts up. Chase a washer across the room. Well, that doesn't really sound as good as I thought it did. That one sounds a whole lot better. That one's shot. So I think we're going to put this one in. I need this little spacer. I still can't figure out why they did that. If they wouldn't have undercut that shaft, you wouldn't have needed it. Oh, that fits real nice. Alright, the rest of that is just putting it back together the opposite way I tore it apart. That's pretty straightforward. The reason I tore this one apart was to keep this deck. Just to buy these decks, they're $228 for a 33 inch. If you're lucky enough to have a 30 inch deck, they're $379. Smaller. It must be harder to make something smaller. Go figure on that. You have any questions? Put something down in the description below, or send me an email to jimsfixitshop@gmail.com. Be more than happy to answer your questions. Send me your phone number if you like, and I'll give you a call and help you out with the problem. Hopefully that's going to take care of the problem of my my blade deflecting in there and hitting the edge of the mower deck. That was kind of interesting. If you like it, give me a thumbs up. If you don't, tell me what you don't like and I'll change it. I'm on Facebook now, but to find me on Facebook, you have to look up JNR Woodworking. That's what all this started out to be, is woodworking. How I ever got into all this repair stuff is beyond me, but it seems to be going over bigger than my woodworking does. So check me out on Facebook. Share it with some of your friends that have these snappers. And I guess till next time, work safe, have fun, and we'll talk to you soon.